What's up everybody, I'm Rossi and welcome to another video. In this video I'll be sharing my opinions about Diablo 4 that just had its newest gameplay presentation a few days ago on the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. In this showcase they revealed a new class, Necromancer, and gave a more detailed look on the actual gameplay. The Necromancer announcement trailer didn't really give us any surprises or information about the class other than it's going to be the 5th and final class available in Diablo 4. However, we pretty much know how Necromancer is going to play as it's one of the iconic classes of the Diablo franchise. The trailer itself was very good, as Blizzard cinematics usually are. It's probably the only thing we can all agree on. Blizzard knows how to make cool cinematics. The other classes that this game now has are Barbarian, Sorceress, Rogue and Druid, leaving Crusader aka Paladin and Monk to be viable DLC purchase options in the future. We got a look at the character customization and it looks good enough. You can change your hairstyle and color, your skin and eye color, your face, the tattoos on your face and body, and some accessories like earrings. You cannot change your body type because that's tied to your class choice, but overall it looks fine. Most of these choices you probably aren't going to see anyways because of the armor and clothes your character is going to wear, as getting new and more powerful equipment has always been the main part of the gameplay loop of these games. In fact, weirdly enough, they actually showed this in their character customization segment, which is pretty weird because this is exactly what I was saying. The armor completely obscures all of your character customizations other than perhaps your skin color. There probably is going to be an option to switch the helmet on and off as usual, but other than that, expect most of the features of your customized character to be hidden under an armor, and I'm fine with it. It is what it is. One of the most exciting features in Diablo 4, at least for me, is the non-linear open world, which is also a shared world between players with fully enabled crossplay and couch coop, probably something like we already saw in Diablo Immortal, where you see other players running around in the world in your game. And why this is so exciting feature is that it was actually very boring to always go through the same areas in the same order when you level up your new character. I mean, I have played thousands of hours of Diablo games. Diablo 2 used to be our main game in our LAN parties back in the day, and the fact that you no longer have to go from point A to point B but can choose where you want to go is actually massive update and upgrade from the past. Nobody likes the Act 2 desert areas anyways, so it's great that you no longer are forced to do that. But since it's also a shared world, I just hope that tagging mobs is not a thing anymore as it still was in Diablo Immortal. That means that if you need to kill a specific monster for a quest, you need to be the first one to hit the monster for it to count, otherwise no matter how much you participate in taking that monster down, it won't count for the progress of your quest, which was somehow still a feature in that piece of garbage of a game called Diablo Immortal. They did advertise that this game has 150 dungeons in the game and enemy strongholds that you need to reclaim, which after reclaiming then turn into something else like friendly towns or new dungeons. They didn't clarify if these strongholds are part of those 150 dungeons, but either way, 150 dungeons seems like a good amount of content. The next feature they talk about are local events. These are events in the open world that you might accidentally come across. This sounds cool and sure these are exciting the first time you come across them. It's understandable that later in the game you'll probably come across the same local event that you'll just be going to run past, but short story moments like these are always welcome, just don't expect them to be exciting more than once. Then they also show these kinda like world boss local events, huge monsters that you need a group to deal with. From this scene we can assume a few things, at least the fact that you can group up with 8 other players, or at least do this content with 8 other players, not sure if grouped or not. You can see 2 druids, 2 sorceress, 1 rogue and 2 necromancers and 1 barbarian who is late to the party. Now don't get me wrong here, it's a cool scene and seems like fun content, But I'm pretty sure there is a reason there is in fact 11 summons also present in this fight, making it actually feel and look bigger for the viewer and giving the illusion that there are more people involved in it in such a short segment, which also happens to emphasize the fact that these take a lot of players to take down, when in fact there's only 8 peoples in this fight. As I said, the actual event and monster looks cool and fun, but it's just a marketing thing I happened to notice and felt like worth to mention. The boss looks cool and seems to have few mechanics, so overall these could be fun events. There are also specific zones for PvP, where the one with the most skills is going to be marked on the map for everyone to chase after. No additional information about this was given, however, it's safe to say there is not going to be full loot PvP. And lastly, they talked about the end game, which opens up after you have finished the last story quest. It didn't reveal that much information about it though. You can see this demo nose bit when they start talking about the end game, and next you see a Barbarian enter it, so it's safe to assume that this is going to be some kind of portal to these repeatable endless dungeons you can access. They do show this thing called Paragon board and mention that end game is going to be rich with things to do, such as new dungeons, and it's going to be something they are going to support for years to come. I really hope that this is true, because in Diablo 3 the base game really wasn't updated with content after its release. Sure, gaming has changed a lot since then and turned more into these live services, but I'm not really sold to this idea yet before I see how they deliver this. From which we get to pay to win. It's still a bit of a mystery how they are going to monetize this game if they are planning on providing and supporting more content for it for years to come. After the complete fiasco that Diablo Immortal was, even though everybody knew it was going to be a mobile game, the monetization was very aggressive and immoral even in mobile game standards, and the developers pretty much lied to your face about it. I'm very scared that they will actually sell things similar to the infamous legendary crests we saw in Diablo Immortal, which will make you get more loot in the endgame dungeons, essentially making the game pay to win. Just to clarify, they have not yet denied pay to win shop completely, as Asmongold cleverly reveals in his video. I also have some fears about selling cosmetics in a game like this. I didn't really care if my character looked like shit in Path of Exile, because I mostly played hardcore solo self-found, and the time I spent in towns, which was the only place you could see other players, was so short. The time you saw someone on your screen was usually only a few seconds, so it didn't really matter, but in Diablo 4, if it's constantly shared world, it's obviously going to matter a little bit more, because you'll run to other people more often. Gear progression is one of the main features and gameplay loops in Diablo games, and I don't really see selling cosmetics similar as Path of Exile sells them a viable option in Diablo just because of the shared world aspect. These cosmetics matter more the more you see other people. I want to see my character grow in power, and that means getting more and more cooler armor and weapons through progression. From which we get to the amount of classes in this game, because that's also a major concern regarding this issue, as it's an open world multiplayer game with only 5 classes. Lost Ark had 15 classes on launch, and yes, it's a completely different game, but then again, not really though. It's going to look absolutely horrible if every single barbarian looks like every other barbarian, with only purchasable cosmetic skins telling them apart. The things they could sell in the cash shop could be something like more stash space, glowing auras for your character, and pets that follow you around, but not anything that converts or changes how your actual armor and weapons look like, because at that point all of the coolest things are going to be cash shop only and not obtainable via the game. And if they do sell armor and weapon cosmetics in the shop, these should be obtainable by playing the game also. And to those that disagree with me on selling cosmetics in this game, let me remind you, it's going to be a full-priced game with an in-game store. I've already paid 60 euros for the game. Why is there probably going to be content and things I cannot achieve even though I have paid for the game? And lastly, there is going to be a beta test before the game is released, which you can sign up for on their website currently. I'll leave a link to it, so if you want the chance to actually play the game before it's released, go sign up for the beta. But these were my thoughts about the Diablo 4 presentation in the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. Let me know in the comments what you think and what are your thoughts. I still read and respond to every single comment I get. Make sure to like and subscribe for more gaming content, and thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.